This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
We recently had these chus to visit the great cemetery in Fez in Morocco, and there, perhaps from the greatest, if not the greatest, personality that graced all of Morocco, Rabbi Yehuda ben Atar. Rabbi Yehuda ben Atar was someone who the Ohr HaChaim HaKadosh went to for a haskama on his sefer on Shas Chefetz Hashem. Rabbi Yehuda ben Atar was Ragil be'Eliyahu Hanavi. Rabbi Yehuda ben Atar was thrown into a lion's den. V'nitzal b'derech nes. Chida records a description about Rabbi Yehuda ben Atar that he doesn't write about others. He says he was soiles nekia. Chida says about Rabbi Yehuda ben Atar, many people experience miracles through the koyach of Rabbi Yehuda ben Atar when Rabbi Yehuda ben Atar was alive, or people who were mishtateach on his kever la'achar patirasai. So today I wanted to learn a little bit from the Torah of Rabbi Yehuda ben Atar. So I looked at the sefer Minchas Yehuda, or Yehuda ben Atar, and he has an incredible approach to understanding what Chazal say about Yocheved and Miriam, Shifra and Puah. The Gemara in Soita, Daf Yud Aleph on base says, Shifra is Yocheved. Why is she called Shifra? Because she was Mishaperes es Havlad. She beautified the child, she shaped the child, she made the child very beautiful and pleasant. Another pshat, the Gemara says, Shaparu v'ravu Yisrael b'yameha. Klal Yisrael procreated in her days. Two pshatim in Shifra. Either she was Meshaper the Vlad, or Klal Yisrael procreated in her days. Puah, Gemara says, is Miriam. Why is she called Puah? Because she would coo to the Vlad, Poel the Vlad. Or another pshat, she spoke Baruch HaKodesh. Shahoisa Paya Baruch HaKodesh. She said, my mother is going to have a child that will save the Jewish people. Asks Hagoyin Rabbi Yehuda ben Atar. In Fez, Chida writes, any document not signed by Rabbi Yehuda ben Atar was possible. Rabbi Yehuda ben Atar asks, I understand the first reason she's called Shifra because she beautified the child, but according to the second reason, because Klal Yisrael was Paru v'Ravu in her days, anyone alive that time, we could say that about. Klal Yisrael proliferated, and it was in the time of anyone who was alive then. Why would we describe Shifra as someone that Klal Yisrael procreated in her days, in the days of everyone of that generation? Furthermore, asks Yehuda ben Atar, why do we need to bring another pshat by Puah? The first pshat is she cooed to the child. So why do we need another pshat, both by Shifra and by Puah, when the first pshat is a wonderful pshat? Says Rabbi Yehuda ben Atar, why does the Gemara at all have to say Shifra is Yocheved, Puah is Miriam? Shifra was Shifra, there was a lady named Shifra, and Puah was a lady named Puah. Why does it have to be somebody else? Must be Chazal feel that why would the pasuk have to say who these midwives were? Who cares who they were? There were two midwives. It must be these names are not their names, but they're descriptions of these individuals. So let's analyze these descriptions. Who's Shifra? Yocheved. Why is she called Shifra? Because she was Meshaper the Vlad. Who says it's Yocheved? It could have been any woman. And why is she called Shifra? Because she was Meshaper the Vlad. How do Chazal know that it's Yocheved? Because it says Shifra, she was Meshaper the Vlad. Maybe it's some lady named Shprinza, and we call her Shifra because she was Meshaper the Vlad. Furthermore, we say Puah is Miriam. Why? Because she was Paya to the Vlad. It could have been any woman, and she was called Puah because she cooed to the child. Therefore, Chazal have to say there's another pshat. She's called Shifra because she was Meshaper the Vlad, but how do you know it was Yocheved? We know it's Yocheved because Klal Yisrael procreated in her times. Now, about which woman could we say that the era of Mitzrayim was determined by her life? Only a woman who her very life spanned the Egypt experience, and that could only apply to Yocheved. She was born Bein HaChoimos, when Klal Yisrael entered the walls of Egypt, and she was Miyotzei Mitzrayim. So the only woman about whom we could define the Egypt experience by her life was Shifra. Shifra is Yocheved. She was born by when Klal Yisrael entered Egypt, and she was Miyotzei Mitzrayim. Furthermore, Puah. Yes, we understand it's a woman who cooed to the child. She was Puah Levlad. But how do you know it's Miriam? The answer is another pshat. We have to say another pshat. Otherwise, how do you know Puah is Miriam? Puah could also mean a woman who spoke Baruch HaKodesh. Who else? What other woman spoke Baruch HaKodesh b'nevuah other than Miriam? Miriam was the only known prophetess of the time, like the pasuk says, "Vatikach Miriam Hanaviyah." So says Rabbi Yehuda ben Atar. The reason Chazal give a second shot, both by Shifra and by Puah, it's nice. These women were Meshaper the Vlad, and they were Poyel of Vlad, but that could have been a description of any woman who did that. Therefore, there needs to be another meaning. Shifra, Sheklal Yisrael Para V'Rava B'Yameha, and that is only accurate by a woman whose lifespan spanned the Egypt experience, namely Yochevet Shenoilad Ben Achoimos. Puah Shepoya Baruch HaKodesh. That's only accurate regarding a woman who spoke Benavua, and that is true about Miriam Hanaviyah. Says the eminent, powerful, he was known as El Kabir, the eminent rabbi, the greatest rabbi of Fez, Rabbi Yehuda ben Atar, Zechusay Yagein Aleinu, Amen.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.